half of the screen to the left are people with actual hero masks.
Yeah.
People up top
you don't have to. I don't want to see that again. Keep it away. Keep it away.
The people up top have the crappy pullovers as well, but at least the frame's cutting their faces off to an extent.
Those were bad.
Here's the problem. As the AD, your job is to find the best ones and put them where the eye naturally goes, which is the center of the frame, or unless the composition says one star there.
Depending on how the
You're also then supposed to ask the director of photography, what lens are you shooting with, so they know the clarity of the shot. You could then say, listen, I've only got 2 hero makeup.
You need to focus on them.
You need to use a really long lens so it throws the rest out of focus. And they don't try any of that.
Yes. No, it is
flatly exposed, flatly focused, and therefore we get a shot and they look like mutant orangutans.
They don't look like anything we saw in the first movie.
No.
They look like
the only close thing is the one shot where Taylor came out into the crowd when he was escaping first, and you saw that one soulless chimp orangutan, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just duplicated that mask 6 times.
The gorilla masks for a crowd of that people look relatively decent compared to this shot.
For some reason, it makes me feel like
bad orangutan.
I don't have a problem with the small number of orangutans and chimps in this, because I think they're trying to show that the gorillas are outnumbering them literally.
And I agree.
So you can have 12 or something like that, 13 orangutans, and
it kind of alludes to it.
Yeah,
in the next minute.
But I mean, if you're going to cut off faces, and what does that say about the ones that they cut off? That they weren't showing the faces. If these are the ones we want to put on camera,
which. We know that they have a lowered budget. We know that they're trying to pull things off. And again, it was only going to be
up there 5 seconds when we're looking at it,
But it's bad.
Yeah.
So what I wonder is why in these shots, you can do a shot. Let's say that let's say that all the money went to the gorillas because they wanted them to look more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Then be smart with your shot. Have them all stand up and cheer and shoot behind their heads and is that where you
block out or
that's a good point.
And then all you have to do is show me the wigs.
Yeah.
You can show, and they can all raise their billy clubs, or you turn around and get me a tight shot of one of their faces focused, and everything else behind it is thrown out of focus, and they have the crappy pullovers, and I don't see it. You can cheat this stuff very easily, and that doesn't take any extra money. If anything, I can cut more money from a budget.
All right, just in defense of this, maybe they didn't think they were that bad. They were not bad by that era standards.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe they felt like for a pullover mask it didn't suck.
So right before this minute ends, we actually get a shot of the chimps.
This is the one that pisses me off the most.
And they're quiet. So I counted about 70 gorillas. I counted about 19 orangutans, and I counted about 19 chimps, all very quiet. About those numbers. So proportion 70, 13, about 19. So a few more chimps, and they're all just sitting there quietly.
Well, right? I mean the speaker is not trying to rile them up. He's trying to rile up the gorillas. So obviously they're sitting there quietly.
So this is what makes me furious with the shot
of the chimpanzees.
Is that in the chimp shot, we've got up top, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in good makeup, and in the middle row we have
you
3.
Get the horrible one.
We have 3 off to the left who are in good makeup, but predominantly then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 that are horrible. So if I took my 8 chimps in good makeup and put them in the center row, and then I put the other ones up top,
it would look so much better.
Immediately, I'm not going to notice them because I'm going to see these good faces. It's sloppy as shit.
It goes in saying with the chimps and with the orangutans, one of the things they could have done that would have actually helped these moments is that they could have actually kind of maybe lightly closed the mouths.
Oh yeah, I mean,
if forgiving the hair, forgiving the eyes, the mouths agape, make it look even more
the black holes. Yeah,
and it's not even a gape. They have this weird, almost oval aspect to the way the mouth is kind of ooh.
It's not
like they're almost making the sound ooh.
It's not. It's not how the mouths
would work on a couple of them, but all of them it would work if you had a couple of them doing it, but all of them doing it, it just looks bad.
Yeah,
just really bad.
Again, movies do this all the time. They cheat things. You cheat. You do not have to. And I remember even saying this to you guys when we did the first film, when they went inside and they were having the religious ceremony while Taylor was trying to escape. I said, how many of those apes with their backs to us don't have makeup on their fronts because it's cheaper to do it that way? Again, you can cheat these things. There are inventive ways to do it. And I'm perplexed by what they were thinking with the staging of these shots. and why they didn't say to them, we need to find better ways to pull this off.
Well, they had to make a lot of them. I mean, this is a lot more masks than we saw in the first movie, just counting the gorillas alone.
But, okay.
But they already had from the first movie that the prison break scene when he's going through the crowd, they had a lot of, I'm assuming, chimps and
they had some pullovers in that, too.
But still, they have a lot made already.
But if you're wanting to show the disparity of numbers, gorillas outweighing
you definitely want to show the gorillas.
Then all you have to do is go back to that wide shot. They are green, they are orange, they are purple-ish in their costumes.
As long as you're from behind.
And you do it from behind, and I can see there's a ton of them and just a few chimps, and then I cut over to those shots and show it, but then in a wide shot, show my gorillas. I'm not a film director. I just love movies, but this is horribly staged.
So let's talk about, and it's relevant to the next minute as well as this minute, but let's talk about what this is just set up. We've set up some type of guerrilla leader that is commanding an audience and talking about merciful force. Did I say merciful force? He said force.
Merciless force.
Merciless force. Naked, merciless force. We have a shot of orangutans that are just kind of looking at each other like, what do we do? And then a shot of chimpanzees that are quiet.
Right.
And subdued.
Right.
And what does that tell us about the power structure of what's happening right now?
It's definitely, you have a feeling if you're staying within the ideas of the first one to this one, something's shifted.
Something's changed.
Because before we saw the orangutans very much in control of everything. The gorillas were the lackeys,
guards or whatever,
and the chimps were the intellectuals.
And now we've got a situation where there's a military leader that seems to be in control of what's happening.
Right.
Seems to be having some sort of struggle.
And it's really interesting to see this kind of hierarchy happening in their city where we didn't really have military leaders before, but now we do. And
we didn't have much discussion about any of it except for the fact that we had a trial system at some point.
We had a trial system, but we had a trial system in which the soldiers seemed to be kind of adhering. Police officers were doing whatever they were told to do.
Right.
And now we've got some type of uprising where there's a military leader that's commanding a much larger force. The leadership in kind of hushed discussions about what's going on, and a subjugated chimpanzee race that's just kind of sitting off to the side like, there's nothing we can do.
Right.
The winds are changing.
I wonder how that earlier moment of possibly a human being herded in set off this particular moment.
Yeah, it was like this was the straw that broke the camel's back with, we're done with humans, something's got to change.
I mean, the next minute really kind of gets into that. So, tune in tomorrow?
Well, I think tune in tomorrow. All right. As the sun sets here in Big D, we will call that an end for minute 18.
Yep.
And say that we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, let us hear from you on Twitter. Let us hear from you by sending an email to Sean. You all know how much Sean loves his emails. He hasn't gotten a single email in the off-season as we waited and ramped up to going back to Beneath.
Not even spam.
I mean, he looks very lonely and sad, so please send Sean something. Tell him you love him. For Richard and Sean, I'm Todd. Have a great evening.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead human.